Hey everyone, ready to dive into some really fascinating AI stuff today. This one's especially for all you technical writers, documentation specialists, and IT folks out there.
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
Definitely is. We actually got this suggestion from senior technical writer Kurt Robbins.
Nice. What's the topic?
It's all about an interview Dario Amodei did on the Lex Fridman podcast. Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, the AI safety and research company.
Ah, yeah, I've heard of them. They're doing some interesting work.
For sure. Anyway, the full title of the podcast is, get this, Dario Amodei, Anthropic CEO on Claude, AGI and the Future of AI and Humanity. Well, Amodei talks about a ton of stuff, but what really stood out to me was his take on the scaling hypothesis.
Ah, the idea that bigger models equal more powerful AI. Everyone's talking about that these days.
Exactly. But Amodei doesn't just buy into the hype. He's got some really nuanced views on it.
Okay, so unpack that a bit for me. What's his unique perspective?
Well, he definitely believes in scaling. I mean, he's the CEO of a company that's building some of the biggest AI models out there, but he's also super aware of the potential pitfalls.
That makes sense. We're talking about some seriously powerful technology here.
Absolutely. And Amodei emphasizes that just throwing more data and compute power at a problem isn't enough.
You need to be smart about it, right? You need to think about how you're designing these models, especially when it comes to safety.
Exactly. He's really big on that. But here's the thing. He also makes some pretty bold predictions about how quickly this technology is advancing.
Like how soon we might see truly powerful AI.
Exactly. He actually puts a timeline on it.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat here. How soon?
Well, get this. He thinks we're only a few years away from AI systems that can handle all sorts of cognitive tasks, maybe even surpassing human capabilities in some areas.
Whoa, hold on a sec. A few years? That's like right around the corner.
I know, right? It makes you think, what happens to the role of, say, a technical writer in a world like that? Is AI a tool, a collaborator, or a competitor? It's a question we're pondering.
Bihaheim. And it's not us about job security. Amodei talks about the ethical side of things too. Like how do we make sure these AI systems are aligned with human values?
So it's not just about making AI smart, it's about making it good. I'm curious to hear more about that.
Me too. I mean, how do you even approach something like that?
That's where things get really interesting. Anthropic is pushing this idea of mechanistic interpretability.
Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me. What is mechanistic interpretability?
It's about understanding how AI works, like at a fundamental level, right? Just observing what it does, but actually figuring out the why behind its actions.
Oh, I see. So kind of like reverse engineering the AI's thought process. But isn't that incredibly complex? I mean, we're talking about neural networks with billions of parameters.
It's definitely complex, but Anthropic believes it's super important for ensuring AI safety.
I can see why. If you understand how the AI works, you can start to identify potential risks and, maybe even present them from becoming a problem.
Exactly. It's like you wouldn't want to put a powerful engine in a car without understanding how it works, right? You'd want to make sure it's safe and reliable before you hit the gas.
Makes sense. So how does Anthropic actually go about ensuring this safety?
Well, that's where their responsible scaling policy, or RSP, comes in.
Okay, what's that all about?
Basically, they've set up these trigger points based on the AI's capabilities. So as the AI reaches certain milestones,
Certain levels of like intelligence or something?
right, as it hits those milestones, more and more stringent safety measures are automatically activated.
So it's like a built-in safety net that gets stronger as the AI gets more powerful? That's pretty clever.
It is. They're not just hoping for the best. They're actively planning for potential problems before they even pop up. But then there's this other thing I keep hearing about, the superposition hypothesis.
Oh yeah, I've heard that term thrown around. What's that all about? Is it related to safety?
It's more about the sheer power and flexibility of these AI models. Essentially, the superposition hypothesis suggests that AI models can represent way more concepts than they have individual neurons.
That's interesting. Though instead of needing a specific neuron for every single concept, the AI can mix and match different combinations to understand more complex information.
Exactly. It's kind of like how we, as technical writers, can repurpose existing content and create different versions for different audiences, right?
Oh, I get it. We're not starting from scratch every time. We're combining existing elements in new ways.
Exactly. And that's what makes AI models so adaptable and potentially so powerful.
Powerful enough to maybe even replace us one day.
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What does all this mean for the future of work? What does it mean for our work?
That's what I want to know, especially with Amodei saying we could see really powerful AI within the next few years.
I know, it's a lot to think about, but that's why we're having this deep dive, right? To explore these ideas and try to make sense of it all.
Absolutely, and to figure out what we can do to prepare ourselves for whatever the future holds. Yeah, it really does make you wonder what skills are going to be valuable in the future.
Right, like will AI just take over everything and we'll all be out of jobs?
Well, Amodei doesn't think so. He actually talks about this in the interview.
What does he say?
Well, he uses this analogy. He compares AI to a grad student.
A grad student. What does that even mean?
He's basically saying, like, AI can be this super helpful assistant to human experts. It can do the grunt work, the data crunching, the repetitive tasks, but it's still humans who are setting the research goals, asking the big questions, making sense of the results.
So AI is like the brawn and we're the brains.
Kind of, yeah. It's more like a partnership, a collaboration between human and artificial intelligence.
Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. But even if that's the case, this whole shift is going to require us to adapt, right? Like if you're a researcher who spent years honing your skills and then suddenly AI can do it better and faster, that's got to be a little unsettling.
Totally. I mean, imagine how those researchers must feel.
It makes you wonder, like, what skills should we be focusing on? What will make us indispensable in a world where AI is doing so much of the heavy lifting?
That's exactly the point Amodei makes. He talks about this idea of comparative advantage. He's basically saying we need to focus on developing skills where humans have a clear advantage.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
Things like, creativity, critical thinking, empathy, complex communication.
So basically the things that make us uniquely human.
Exactly. Those are the skills that will be most valuable in an AI-powered world.
It's almost like we need to become more human, Focus on the qualities AI can't replicate, at least not yet.
Right, lean into our strengths. But speaking of human qualities, there's this really interesting part of the interview where Amodei talks about AI having character.
Wait, hold up. AI having character. What does that even mean?
It sounds weird, right? But he's basically talking about the ethical implications of AI. Like, can we build AI systems that are aligned with human values? Can AI be ethical?
Whoa, that's some deep stuff. I mean, how do you even approach that? It's not like you can teach an AI right from wrong like a child.
Well, Amodei says Anthropic is actually trying to do that. They're using this thing called get ready for it, reinforcement learning from AI feedback.
Oof, another acronym, RLAIF, is that what they call it?
Yeah, RLAIF. It's a mouthful, I know.
So what is it? How does it work?
Essentially, they have these principles, almost like a constitution for AI, and the AI reads and interprets these principles, and then it uses that understanding to evaluate its own responses.
So it's like the AI is learning to judge its own behavior based on a set of ethical guidelines. Pretty wild.
It is. It's basically like they're trying to build a moral compass into the AI.
But does that actually work? I mean, can you really teach an AI to be ethical?
Well, Anthropic says the early results are pretty promising. They've found that this approach makes the AI more helpful and harmless without making it any less capable.
Okay, so maybe there's hope. But even with all these precautions, there's still this nagging question in the back of my mind. Can we really control something as complex and powerful as AI? What if it gets too smart, too independent?
I get it. It's a question that keeps a lot of people up at night, and Amodei acknowledges that controlling these systems, especially as they become more autonomous, is one of the biggest challenges we face.
So what's the solution? How do we make sure AI doesn't go rogue?
Amodei really stresses the importance of transparency and collaboration. He thinks we need to be open about the risks of AI and work together to find solutions that benefit everyone, not just a select few.
So it's not about one company or one country figuring it out. It's about a global effort to make sure AI is used for good.
Exactly, and he thinks regulation has a big part to play in all of this.
Wait, he's not saying we should stop AI research altogether, is he?
No, no, not at all. He thinks thoughtful, targeted regulation is key to ensuring that AI is developed safely and responsibly, but we also have to be careful not to stifle innovation. It's a delicate balancing act.
Like walking a tightrope. We need to move forward with AI, but we got to be careful where we step. And speaking of moving forward, Amodei actually gets into some really specific applications of AI, especially in healthcare and scientific research. He seems particularly excited about what AI can do for biology.
Yeah, he talks about AI helping us unlock the secrets of the human body, leading to breakthroughs in disease prevention, personalized medicine, maybe even extending lifespan.
That sounds almost too good to be true.
I know, right? It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. But Amodei actually puts dates on these predictions, which is pretty bold. He seems to really believe that some big, big breakthroughs are just around the corner.
Like how soon are we talking?
He predicts that within the next few years, we could see AI systems that outperform humans in all sorts of areas, especially tasks that require complex cognitive skills. He even suggests that AI could start driving scientific progress on our own.
Whoa. That's a pretty big statement.
It is. It's both exciting and a little bit scary. The potential is huge, but the risks are real.
So what does it all mean? What does it mean for the future? What does it mean for us? I feel like we've just scratched the surface here.
I know, right? This is just the tip of the iceberg. But that's why it's so important to have these conversations, to stay informed, and to think critically about the role we want AI to play in our lives and in the world.
I totally agree. And on that note, I want to shift gears a bit and talk about what all of this means for our audience specifically. Technical writers, documentation specialists, and IT professionals. After all, if AI is going to revolutionize fields like programming and science, it's bound to have a huge impact on our work as well, right?
Absolutely. And even though Amodei doesn't talk specifically about technical writing in this interview, he does go into a lot of detail about AI's potential to transform programming.
Okay, I'm listening.
And because there's so much overlap between technical communication and software development these days, I think we can draw some pretty clear parallels and implications.
All right, tell me more. What does Amodei see happening in the world of programming, and how could that affect us as technical communicators?
Well, he thinks AI could automate a big chunk of programming work, maybe even get to a point where AI systems can design and develop software all on their own.
Wow, that's kind of mind-blowing. Imagine if you're a programmer and suddenly AI can just do your job for you.
Yeah, it's definitely a big shift, but Amodei talks about this thing called comparative advantage.
Comparative advantage, what's that?
He's saying that as AI takes over more of those routine programming tasks, humans will have to focus on the stuff that we're still better at.
Like what kind of stuff?
Things that need more, creativity, critical thinking, empathy, good communication. Those are the skills that AI still hasn't quite mastered.
So instead of being replaced by AI, programmers might end up focusing on those higher-level tasks that require human intuition and insight.
Exactly. And I think we can apply that same logic to technical writing.
How so?
Well, as AI gets better at things like generating basic documentation or translating technical jargon into plain language, technical writers can focus on the more strategic and creative aspects of their work.
Yeah, like coming up with compelling narratives, making sure the content is really user-friendly and advocating for the user's needs. Well, this deep dive has definitely given us a lot to think about. It's been a whirlwind of information about where AI is going and how it might change the world.
Yeah, it's an ongoing conversation, and we need to keep having it. AI is evolving so fast. It's important to stay informed and engaged, especially for folks in technical writing and IT, where AI is going to have a big impact.
So to all you technical writers, documentation specialists, and IT pros out there, I want to leave you with this question. If AI could automate 90% of your work today, what would you do with that extra time and brain power? How could you use AI to level up your skills and make yourself even more valuable in this new world?
Those are the questions to ponder. And if you're interested in learning more, I highly recommend listening to the full Lex Fridman interview with Dario Amodei. You can also check out Amodei's essay, Machines of Loving Grace. It's a great read.
And a big thanks to Kurt Robbins for suggesting this fascinating interview. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, keep exploring.